Good evening, Yorktown, and welcome to the Town Board meeting for July 5th, 2022. I hope everyone had a fun and safe 4th of July holiday. If you could all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if we could just bow our heads in prayer as we give thanks for this great day, we give thanks for living in a free country, and we give thanks for those who are serving overseas, defending our freedoms. We also this day keep in our thoughts and prayers all of the victims across the country this past weekend of gun violence, including those in Illinois. And we, of course, give thanks that we have amazing first responders here in the town of Yorktown, as we saw this past week. We also give thanks that the employees of the Yorktown Pharmacy remained unharmed in the terrible incident that occurred here in our community. And as always, we keep in our thoughts and prayers the bravest men and women the world knows, those serving in the United States Armed Forces protecting our freedoms today. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to do introductions, starting to my right.
Good evening, Diana Quast, Town Clerk.
Good evening, Tom Diana, Councilman Deputy Supervisor.
Supervisor Matt Slater.
Councilman Ed Lachterman.
Sergio Esposito, Councilman.
Luciana Howitt, Councilwoman.
Adam Rodriguez, Town Attorney.
Okay. A couple of quick announcements for our reports. I want to start with what transpired in our town on Thursday. A lot of news coverage on that. What a great job by the Yorktown Police Department. What a great job by all of the law enforcement agencies who provided mutual aid. On Thursday, there was a robbery, unarmed robbery of Yorktown Pharmacy, the Rexall Pharmacy. Happy to report that, as I said, none of the employees were harmed, but we did have 3 individuals raid the pharmacy itself, taking medications off the counter and then fleeing. They fled right here across the street where they got into a motor vehicle accident, and then 2 of the suspects went out on foot, and it caused a bit of a havoc scene. Yep, right off of Rochambeau, Overhill Street, I know. And but what a great job by the Yorktown Police Department, by all the mutual aid agencies who responded, and there were many. New York State troopers. We had the Putnam County Sheriff's Office, Westchester County Police, the DEP Police, just a real team effort. I want to thank, of course, Chief Noble. I joined him and Lieutenant Foley right over here on Cardinal Court. That was our command post. And to watch them work was just really, really inspiring and impressive. And so I think everyone can, once again, sleep easy tonight knowing we've got a great police department. But they really did a wonderful job. I want to thank Councilwoman Howitt for helping me with some traffic detail. Thankfully, we didn't cause any more problems. But it was, a real show of strength of our community. Visited Raj and his employees the following day. They are all doing well. Obviously, a bit shaken, but again, thankfully, no one was hurt, and we give thanks for that. The suspects were arraigned, by the way, on Friday. I did attend the arraignment. Mm-hmm. They were held each with a $100,000 bail, and at the end of the arraignment, were being transported to Valhalla for the Westchester County Jail. So again, just another. It was an intense few hours here, but all turned out well, and we give thanks again to all those who assisted our community, and of course, to our friends over at Yorktown Pharmacy. Let's make sure we give them, pay a visit, make sure they know that we're thinking about them, and know that the community is behind them. Last month, I was joined by Alliance for Safe Kids, Marie Considine of NAMI, and Chief Noble. If you haven't seen it, we did put out a video regarding cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a real serious issue, not just in this community, but we know across the country. Bullying is not what it once was. Growing up here in Yorktown, that was not something that at the time we had the technology for. And fact of the matter is, as we've come to learn, especially during the COVID pandemic, that when kids go home, they still are dealing with the perils of bullying. They deal with it on their phones. They deal with it on social media. And it really causes significant emotional trauma to them. And so we want to make sure that we're empowering our parents so that they understand what to be on the lookout for, but also so that everyone understands what the laws are and what to do if you suspect your child is being a victim of cyberbullying, who to turn to. We've got great schools. We've got great school superintendents. And, of course, the Yorktown Police Department if need be. But we explain all of this in this informational video. I encourage everyone to make sure you check it out. It's on the Government Access channel. It's also on the town's YouTube page and on the town's website. And I, again, want to thank them for joining me. We did receive another NYSERDA Clean Energy Grant of $5,000. We are very excited about that. I want to once again thank our Climate Smart Communities Task Force, who does great work in the community here. I believe, and Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's also going towards the energy audit that we are planning on having on the town facilities. That's yes. Correct, right? So that's going to be going to the energy audit that we're hopefully going to see come to fruition shortly. I want to thank everyone who joined the Hart Library. They kicked off our summer reading program. We had over 900 people stop over at the John C. Hart Memorial Library in Shrub Oak. It was a great afternoon. A lot of energy, a lot of fun, and there's still time to sign up. So if you are getting back from your 4th of July vacations and you want to stop by the library and sign your little ones up, please make sure you stop by the children's section and take advantage of this great resource that we have here in the town of Yorktown. John C. Hart Memorial Library just doing so many great things. I've got more to share, but not just yet. But just know good things are on the horizon thanks to Yvonne Check and our wonderful librarians. I did want to also, we got questions on this in the past. We are sending out letters for delinquent tax notices. So the tax receiver's office is processing the list along with the letter that was crafted by the town attorney, and that will be out later this month. And we're using the tax receiver's office, obviously, because if anyone does come in to pay the taxes, they can be removed from that list and won't receive the notice. So we appreciate Barbara Corsack and her staff taking the lead on that. And Mr. Rodriguez, we appreciate your efforts as well. Let's see. Last week, also, it was a bit of a field trip, but we got to see, or 2 weeks ago, Uncle Giuseppe's, the new Uncle Giuseppe's right here in the Yorktown Green. I hope you guys are hungry because it's going to be an awesome spot. Their largest store in the state of New York, right here in the town of Yorktown. So many awesome stations. I know you're going to make fun of me. I'm not going to say it. You want to say it for me? What's the station?
Mozzarella.
That's what I said.
That's what you said?
Mozzarella station.
That's like a Ford what?
Yeah, right. F1150, yeah. But they got the mozzarella station. They got the pasta station.
Yeah, the pasta station.
And Ed's favorite, the beer cave.
I'm not a beer drinker. If
They also
that'd be good.
They also have a beer cave. They're going to have indoor seating. There's going to be so many amenities there. It's going to be a real attraction to the Heights Hamlet. Very excited to see that come to be. Also, got to point out they're using local labor, which is fantastic. It's a union job, number one, but you get to see people like John Campobasso, who's all over our community doing great things. He also is one of the companies that are working on it. So great to see they're using local employees as well, and we're just very excited. We'd expect them to be open in August, but they're cruising right along. Just another exciting project here in town. You're going to see a couple of resolutions tonight. I just thought it was important to point them out. And again, to Sarah Wilson and our CSC task force, you are seeing the resolution for heat pumps to be engineered here for Town Hall. Believe it or not, we still rely on a steam heating system. So that means even in August, and when you turn all the faucets off, it still runs. And you get a nice sauna feel in the second floor, especially in finance. So we're looking forward to a more efficient system there. Also, you're going to see from our refuse department, we are going to be rebidding the garbage contract. We expect to be having that back at the end of July. Correct, Di? July 29th. So just important to know that. Lastly, two more things I wanted to point out. I said lastly, but there's two. This Friday, e-waste day over at the police department. So make sure you mark your calendars there. And if you didn't know it, my last point is make sure you're checking the community calendar. We do have a community calendar right on the town's homepage. Anybody can post any event that you want on the calendar. and we're really trying to make it a central hub because we've got so many great organizations in town who host so many different events. If we can all utilize it as one central calendar for the community, which is what its purpose is, we can try to avoid some of the conflicting dates that we unfortunately have to deal with. But you'll see on the calendar a lot of great things from refuse and recycling. You'll see the e-waste event and just a really important tool. And I'm sure it's on there. I didn't check it, but we are also having, let's see, when is it? July 23rd, the Repair Cafe over at Grace Lutheran Church at the corner of Curry and Gomer. Just those are the types of things that you can see on the calendar and benefit from. And with that, that ends my report to the town. I'll turn it over to Councilman Diana.
Thank you, Supervisor. And at that, guess what I'm going to do tonight? I'm really going to throw a monkey wrench into this.
Oh, why?
I just have to do it.
It's because it's July, isn't it?
It's because it's July.
happens in July?
Luciana, you take my spot.
Oh,
there
that's
you go.
great. Thank you.
And then I'll go last.
Happy July, everyone. I just wanted to thank all the kids for their hard work this school year, and now they're kicking off the summer. I'm sure that you are enjoying our local town pools and all the family barbecues and stuff that we've missed for the last 2 years. I know that on July 9th, is it July 9th, right? We have at 11 a.m. to 12 at Woodlands Legacy Fields, we have the kickoff to putting up our new trail signs, which I think is a great way to come out with your families, just to explore what's out there. I know that we all know that our town is so known for its wonderful trails, but I think we forget how many of them there are. And it would be great to be led by those who take care of them and see all the work that goes into preserving our trails. I was going to kick off on mentioning to get ready, but Matt, I can't find the date for the Mohegan Lake Day.
Ken was just here. July 16th.
July 16th?
Yep, July 16th is Mohegan Lake Day.
So we do want, that's another great event. I know that I unfortunately had to miss the Sparkle Lake one, but I think that Mohegan Lake would be also super fun for the kids. Thanks again for all the hard work the community did and also all the patience. My friends live over on Overhill, so everyone living around there on Thursday definitely buckled up and followed orders by the Yorktown Police, and it was wonderful to see that there was good communication, making sure that everyone stayed safe. And that is all I've got. So happy 4th of July and happy summer.
Excellent. Thank you. Councilman Esposito?
I'm going next? Okay,
You're
great.
going next.
All right. Well,
Councilman Diana wanted to throw a monkey wrench, so here we go.
So happy 4th of July to everybody. It's a day late, but just wanted to wish you guys that. There was a lot of fun and great cheer. I mean, it was a real quiet 4th of July for me, so it was nice and relaxing. But it was great to celebrate the country. There was a great party at Jefferson Village.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those folks, the peeps over there, they know how to party. Yeah. So they had a whole pool party and tribute to the 4th of July. It was really nice to see. As far as Mohegan Lake Day goes, I have the itinerary. Ken sent it to us. I'll run down it at 8:45 a.m. You're going to hike the new Tall Timbers Trail, and it's going to be led by our supervisor. Our supervisor, Matt
the
Slater.
junior supervisor. It's
The
going to be
junior supervisor. We have him here.
Yeah.
10 to 11:30, there's a kids fishing derby. So, I mean, I was there last year, Ken. It's a lot of fun, the whole Mohegan Lake Day. It's a great event. 11:30 to 1, it's kids games. 1 to 2:30, you're going to canoe, kayak, paddleboard races, art on the lake exhibition, thigh dancing performance. It sounds wild. 3 to 4:30, wildlife encounter with Ranger Rick. All right.
Ranger Rick.
Rappers Delight food truck is between 5 and 8. They got great food, by the way. You got at between 6 and 8:30 open mic, live music, and storytelling performances. And then they're gonna wrap it up with Chinese floating lanterns on the lake. So
That's awesome.
So I guess plan on staying all day.
yeah, it's a great event. You really get to see what Mohegan Lake, how wonderful it really is, and what a great resource it is, for us here in Yorktown. Yeah, so you change your clothes, bring a bathing suit, right?
Pajamas.
I did want to send a shout out to the Yorktown Heights Police Department. They did a fantastic job, and they continue to protect us, and they deserve all the credit and accolades that you could shower them with. Yorktown Heights Fire Department had a great carnival and parade. It was a great town event. It's always a great town event, and I love attending it. And I want to give a shout out to my friends at the Shrub Oak Athletic Club, the Stingers. They have a brand new girls softball team, and they're getting tryouts going soon. So look out for that. They already have like 60 or 70 girls, And with that, I'm going to turn it over to, I'm not really sure.
Councilman Lacker.
All right, there we go.
I hope everyone had a great holiday. I wanted to expand a little bit on what Supervisor Slater was talking about with cyberbullying, because cyberbullying is not limited to our kids.
No.
And people are picking it up from, where do the kids learn it? They learn it from their peers and from home. Mm-hmm. And I recently had to ask someone to stop emailing me because it was just atrocious, the things that were being said. It's sort of like what they say, when you see something, say something. If we accept the cyberbullying when we see it, and we accept whether it's a Facebook post, whether it's comments that are thrown out of, and I know, actually, I think, John, you actually stated something about some comments like that. People should have some common courtesy and respect and stop the garbage, the trash. And if we can't, as a community, at least our small community, start to say, hey, you know what? Why don't you have a conversation with someone rather than post something on social media? Why don't you literally try to be a human being about it? And if we can't do that as a community, how will it ever happen as a society? And we really, really need to, thank you, John, we really, really need to push that.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, so I did want to put that out because, look, I already did an article in the paper about cancel culture, and, I see things all the time that make my head spin. And people, and especially now, there's this new division where someone, based on your thoughts, makes you a different person. So if you have conservative thoughts, well, that makes you whatever people want to say you are. And if you have liberal thoughts, that makes other people say you're something else. And it's just, you know what? We're all entitled to have a thought process and to have a conversation. That's what's so great about our country. And it's atrocious. And that's where I had to draw the line about someone emailing me and just say, look, if you're going to be narrow-minded, if you're going to be prejudicial, if you're going to be bigoted, based on the fact that I have an R next to my name when I'm running for election, don't bother talking to me. So that's where I stand with that, and I really wanted to bring it up because it's not just with our kids. It's our society, it's our community, and we need to change that in order to get better.
I gotta tell you, that I might have a reputation for posting a lot on Facebook, but I will tell you, you will not see a negative post, and it's a hell of a lot easier to post something positive, and you get a much better response, a much wider response, and you reach a wider audience when you put something up that's positive, and you set a better example.
Well, look,
and the kids do get it from the adults.
Yeah, and we want it to be. We want our lives to be better, and by trying to point out negativity, it's not a help.
I just want to comment on something you just said. I really appreciate what you're saying, Councilman Lackerman, but I want, one of the things that I think people are forgetting is that we lack consciousness and awareness when we do things now. It's like we have this right to have freedom of speech and all of this wonderful things and all these gifts that we're actually taking advantage of. When we talk about the word privilege, we are all abusing what those rights actually mean. But the lack of consciousness and awareness or understanding what someone else is going through and slowing down and doing that is what we're not teaching the generations to come. And therefore, it's all impulsive, and there's so much pain in the world that people are they're just acting on the pain. So I think it's really important not only to say that we're all responsible to end cyberbullying, and we're all able to tell someone, listen, what you're doing is incredibly hurtful, and be okay to stand up for the fact that I respect your opinion, but your opinion should not be placed here because it's hurtful. Like, there's a real thing there, and I think the lack of consciousness around that is something that you're stressing, and it's like that's what's going to rebuild what this country is about.
What's even worse, though, is that there are some people that consciously do it.
Correct.
To create the issues for people. It's that cancel culture aspect of it. And
A lack of accountability, completely.
yeah. Well, you know what? It's really easy to be a warrior behind a keyboard and say things and not worry about it and not care about the consequences. And I can't tell you how many. I own a couple of businesses, and I get emails that are not signed, and we get them at the town. You get some horrible emails, and people don't even want to put their name to it because they understand
How horrible it is.
how horrible and garbage it is, and they say things about people that is just so uncalled for. So look, it's so easy to be anonymous and be behind a keyboard, and it all it does is it tears our community down. It tears society down, and look at the paths we go down. But let me get away from that because that's kind of heavy, and I'm not really a heavy type of guy.
It's on a lighter note.
Especially because I've lost some weight, Serge.
Yes, you're looking good.
So we do have the Yorktown Lions summer concert started. Well, not this past weekend, the weekend before, with a great local band, Angie and the Armenian Rug Riders. Yeah, she has a phenomenal voice.
She was good.
She was so good.
So outside on the table, if anyone wants a schedule, we do have our cards. Now, when these got proofed, someone missed the fact that they went from 6:26 to 6:10. We are not time warping backwards. It's supposed to be July 10th, which is this Sunday. We have the Showtime Dance Band. They are phenomenal. I think it's a 10 or 11-piece band. Really, really good, great music, too.
Have you left the cards outside, Ed?
Yeah, the cards
There
are
we
right out
go.
on the table. We have the Rave-Ons coming after that on the 17th. They do great. It's a 50s music review. They do some great stuff, especially if you love Buddy Holly. They have some wonderful, wonderful Buddy Holly music. And I don't want to spoil it, but they actually do a great show. So I won't tell you, but look for the stand-up bass. That's what I'll say there. Followed on my lovely bride's birthday on August 7th, Danny V in the 52nd Streets for all of you Billy Joel fans. Then for the Springsteen fans on the 21st, Tramps Like Us, the unbelievable Bruce Springsteen tribute band. As a matter of fact, they did a Super Bowl pre-party that was amazing when the Super Bowl was at the Meadowlands, I guess it was at the time. I don't think it was renamed at that point. And then finishing off on August 28th, we have Class Action. And that concert, unlike all our other ones, instead of starting at 6, starts at 5, because we will have our military appreciation show featuring Alyssa Martin. She does some great 40s style music, similar to an organization who cannot be named due to a cease and desist. But she does some of the old 40s music in period dress. Matter of fact, she gets driven in by her dad in his 1942 Jeep Willie. So it's an amazing tribute to the military. Then Class Action will play, and then if anything else is happening, I'll leave that to Councilman Diana to talk about.
Mention the rain date, just in case it rains, that it's still going to have the concert.
Yes, there is no rain date for any Lions concerts. We move inside to the auditorium if there is rain. But since we haven't had rain, knock wood, in 3 years, we're not expecting any.
No more.
That's it. Councilman Diana, what do you have for us?
Nothing now. No, I'm only
I know.
kidding.
See what happens? When we
Yeah,
go
you
back?
see, I let him. I
It's always me. I'm always
yield to the rest of the
recapping
group,
what everyone else
and I get put out. Anyway, no, I'm only kidding. Hey guys, pools are open. All right, and you can still get passes. If you haven't gotten your passes yet, you can still get them. Not only that, but our Parks and Recreations department has its annual hole-in-one contest, Family Fun Day. Kids' activities include kids' putting contest Saturday, July 16th from 9 to 1 p.m. at Downing Park Ball Field. So be there or be square.
I'll be on the lake.
You're going to be square?
I think I'll be on the lake.
Well,
We'll try to do both, I guess.
you could do both. You can do both.
She'll be walking with Matt.
Yeah, you guys can go out there and
Hike.
have fun.
at
hiking.
8:45.
I'll watch.
Okay.
Tommy, can I interrupt for just 1 second, though? You mentioned pools. Please, for those of you with home pools, please look at the home safety. There was another drowning incident of a young child in the Hudson Valley this
Yeah.
past weekend. Pool safety is so important. Make sure it's gated, locked, and ladders are down.
Put up.
Watch your kids.
Or up.
Or,
Make sure your ladders are up.
Right. Thank you, Tom. Sorry.
Grange Fair had a great car show on the 26th, car and truck show up there. The Grange is a jewel in our community that a lot of people don't even realize that it's here. Check out their Facebook page, their website, whatever the case might be, and see if they have some events that you might be liking to go to, because they're putting on actually another car show, and I don't have the date, but I will have it for next meeting. It's just a great organization, and they're self-sustaining up there, and they actually help the town with some of our parks camps on their campus up there. It's a great place, and the Grange Fair is coming. That'll be, I believe it's the first weekend in September. Going to a more somber note, please keep in your thoughts and prayers all the victims of the terrible shooting at Highland Park.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I'm not sure what the toll is now. I know it raised 1 this morning. I don't know if there was more or not.
7, I think.
It was 6 this morning. 6 dead and like 26 injured.
Yeah, my friend's in there.
Highland Park, may God be with you. It's a terrible tragedy when in a community such as ours you can't go to a parade and not worry that somebody might do something that's going to injure or kill people. It's really a shame. That brings me on to my next point. If you see something, say something. Let's help our police help you. I don't care how small. Give them a call. Let them check it out. It may be nothing. It may be something. But it may be very important. That little bit of information that you have, if you don't give it out, they may not get it. So I can't stress any further. To help our community help you, you see something, give our police a call. They'll be more than happy to give you guys a hand in that. And to echo, all, I want to thank our YPD guys and gals and all the law enforcement agencies that assisted during the non-armed robbery of the Yorktown Pharmacy. I thank God that it was a non-armed robbery. Great job done by them. All the apprehensions were made, and as the supervisor said, he went to the arraignment, and they'll be coming to trial for that. And I'm just going to touch on bullying one more time. Education about bullying starts at home, folks. Bottom line. Parents have to teach the kids what to do and what not to do. Our internet now and the social highway, the electronic highway and so forth is what is bringing people together, but it's also separating people at the same time. As Ed was saying, with nasty emails and stuff like that, you get your keyboard warriors. This isn't what this community is about, folks. We're not about bullying. We're not about attacking people. And that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think that's a great segue into the next portion of our agenda here. Hey, Riley, you want to come on up with me?
No, we don't want to go with
Here, I'll meet you halfway. How about that? Come on, buddy.
Cuddles. Look, I get shy too, Riley, when I'm up here.
Here, I'll come right
No,
over
you
here.
don't.
You do?
Sometimes.
Want to see? Hey, Tom, can you get me if I'm sitting right here? Okay. So,
I didn't want Tom to yell at them.
all right. So, everyone, can you sit up for me real quick? So, this is my friend Riley. So, I heard that you went up to Granite Knolls to the new playground. And unfortunately, Riley didn't have the best time. And I was really upset about that. And a lot of things that we talked about already today is some of the things that Riley experienced at really the best playground you can go find. And I thought it was really important. I want to thank our town clerk, Diana Quast, as well, for helping me with this. But it was really important for us to recognize Riley and to make sure that people understand that this town's a place for everybody. And so, Riley, I got a couple things for you. I got you this pin. And look, I kind of have the same one, see? It's pretty cool, right? And you know what you get to do with this pin? Anything you want. Right, Mom? Can I put this on you real quick? Yeah? Come here. I'm going to put this right here on this guy. Just like this. All right. There you go. That is the Town of Yorktown seal right there. Now you get to run around and you do whatever you want while you got that pin on. It's like superpowers. All right?
I'll give you Matt's address.
Yep.
Right, Tara?
Speaking of superpowers, hold on. This is my favorite superhero. You know who this guy is? Who is it? Is he Superman or is he Batman? Batman. Batman is my favorite superhero. And so I wanted to get you Batman so you feel nice and safe when you go to our playgrounds, okay? All right, you have fun with him. Look, he gets like really big apparently too. Right?
Yeah,
Right?
the Gujitsus.
Yeah, you can stretch them all out and you have a
I
great
see
old
the
time with
twins
them.
and like Riley
So
slinging
there
it.
you go, buddy. That's yours.
Boy, mom.
Have fun with him.
Boy, mom.
And then I know Diana, you've got something for him that you want to give him.
Go. This is a little flag of the town.
Oh, wow. Riley, that's great.
Is that cool?
Oh, he's
And then last but not least,
I don't even have one of those on my desk.
Me neither.
here you go, buddy. So Riley is going to be named the Junior Town Supervisor for the Town of Yorktown for the month of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riley.
That's all. You know,
Riley, thank you
I
for
got
being
it.
so brave.
Thank you, Riley.
I wanted my kids to be here. Unfortunately, they couldn't. But I wanted them here just for two reasons. We've got 3 rules in my house. Number 1 is be nice to everyone. They say that to me every day before they get out of the car. Number 2, I stole from John Adams, second president of the United States. I don't know if he actually said it, but it was on the HBO show, and I liked it. And it was do good and be good. It's that simple, folks. It is just that simple. And I know it's a crazy world that we live in, but like we heard earlier, the kids, they learn from the adults. And Riley deserves to go to any playground he wants in this town, and he deserves to have the best time of his life. And we better make sure, whether you're a kid, whether you're a teenager, or whether you're a parent, you better make sure that my buddy Riley gets to have the best time of his life at any of our playgrounds. Okay? And now he's a supervisor for the month. I'm going on vacation.
Woo!
Yeah. You have a grand old time. You can go up in my office. You can sit in my big seat. I got a basketball hoop up there. You can go dunk it, and you have a great time. All right, buddy?
Hi.
Let's give Riley a big round of applause, please.
Way to go, Riley.
Here, I'm going to give this to your mom.
Thanks, Riley.
Hey, Riley, you want to tell everyone they can go home now?
Yeah, we work for you, bud.
Riley, as supervisor, you can make a motion. Motion to adjourn?
Guys, you want to come over here?
Yeah.
Why don't we get a picture of Riley here? No, it's all right. We're going to stand right here. Can I hold it for you? You got it? Yeah. All right. You have a great summer, okay?
Right.
All right, Riley.
Hey, Riley, you want to sit up at the big table with us?
Yeah, you want to sit with us? Come on, bud. Come on.
You can steal the other chair.
Come on up there?
Come on over here.
No, you know what? I agree with you. You do your own thing.
Riley, you take my seat. I'll go home.
Whatever you want.
Go show mom. Go. Yeah, show mom. Yeah, he's smart.
Get out while
He's
they
like,
get
I'm not
is
sitting in
good.
those chairs. I'll be stuck here for 4 hours.
Riley, can you say motion to adjourn?
Second.
I already did that.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
All right. The same week that we had that bullying event. My granddaughter was also had the same thing happen to her up there. Now, my wife and my daughter happened to be in the park, and they quelled it right at that point in time. Our park superintendent, as we speak, is getting signage to make sure that people follow the rules in the park. It's a shame that we have to follow rules, but parents are going to have to be in there with their children to monitor their children so that this type of incident doesn't happen again.
I think that's your job when you take them home from the hospital.
You think so?
Right, guys?
Yeah.
You agree with me? I think so.
You know the
I mean,
theme...
if I do anything, I think that I kept them alive all day. And I watch them because, truthfully, they are a reflection of who I am.
Yeah. And, you know, the theme of that park is a place for everyone. Okay? And that means everyone.
And it shouldn't have to be stressed.
And it
right?
shouldn't have to be stressed.
No.
It should be stressed at home at the dinner table.
Exactly.
And not in the playground. The kids should be in there just having fun. And that's what it's all about. That's what being a kid is about. That's what they should be doing. Rant over.
No, that's
Great.
well said. And again, I just hope Riley gets to enjoy every playground in this town without any worry or concern, because that's what it's supposed to be here. All right,
I
buddy?
think he's loving his pen.
Oh, that's a superpower pin right there, Riley.
Yep. We are going to be taking measures, though.
Yeah.
We are going to be taking measures to correct that situation.
Yeah.
Even a little bit more.
Yeah.
And having Riley here is a symbol of bravery.
Yeah.
For Riley and for everyone.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the truth is, like,
Took a lot of courage.
This is happening. This is happening now. And it needs to stop now.
Right.
But Deputy Supervisor, you're absolutely right. You know, it starts back at the house,
Yeah.
right? Around the dinner table. That's where it begins.
Sundays, right, Serge?
That's right.
That's right. Sunday
Every day.
dinners. But I know Jimmy Moderano is working on getting a sign for Rules of the Park. In addition to that, I talked with our members of our rec commission, and we're looking at putting banners up as well. No bullying zone banners over at Granite Knolls, Downing Park, Veterans Field, and
Or how
Shrub Oak.
about anywhere?
Well, yes, anywhere, but those are the four big playgrounds over
Reminders.
here. Just as visual reminders, but also to my fellow parents. I mean, I brought my kids up to Granite Knolls this past weekend as well. A lot of fun, but you got to keep an eye on them, and you got to make sure that you're there and recognizing the fact that that is a very special playground, and it's a very special playground for very special reasons. So you have to make sure that you're teaching your kids that they have to treat everybody in the playground with the utmost respect and dignity. That's really what it boils down to. It's just, and you've got the shirt. You got your Be Kind shirt. Just
Mommy's wearing
be
Be
kind.
Yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around how hard that concept is sometimes.
You know, not to reference Yellowstone, but he actually said,
talking
there's
about you.
always a bigger bear.
That's right.
Right now, Riley, this town board is your bigger bear.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's
So
right.
don't you worry about that.
So, but yeah, Riley, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being our junior supervisor. And I hope you stop by town board maybe later this week or next week or every day, or you
got a
just
lot of
come
work
on
to
up.
do.
No problem, buddy. All right?
Riley, they have candy up there. I know that for a fact.
Oh, yeah. We got lots of good stuff, right,
But
Jenna?
Jenna, fill that.
Let's
We
let's
need
give
a little more than jelly beans up there, please.
let's give Riley another round of applause, huh? Yeah, Riley.
Hey, Riley. All right.
Get up.
I don't know how you're going to top it, John, but we got our poet laureate up next.
All right.
Welcome to Yorktown. So 3 lads from Brooklyn, having been told that upstaters were easy marks, drove to Yorktown thinking it was upstate. They had about 500 more miles to go. They entered a drugstore and thinking that they had buffaloed the local rubes, began to loot the joint, completely missing the fact that an intrepid employee had called 911 and kept the line open so the Brooklyners could be overheard.
You at the pool?
And soon Chief Noble's troops were on the way. The robbers were speeding away when the troops arrived, but was soon in an accident and had to abandon their vehicle, running away on foot. One was almost immediately arrested, and with the assistance of other law enforcement agencies, the other two were soon in custody. Well, at least the Brooklyn trio's trip upstate, we'll bring them free room and board.
That's a good one, John. That's a good one.
Well said,
Hot
my
dogs for
friend.
everyone.
Well said.
Bologna sandwiches, right, John?
We do have one personnel resolution. We're going to make a motion to appoint. Bye, Riley.
Bye, Riley.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Look at him. He's so cute.
Now he warmed up.
Yeah, now
So
he wants
cute.
to hang. Riley, you can come back and make a motion.
He's coming back.
Say motion. We're going to appoint Khalil Aldana to the Advisory Board on Architecture and Community Appearance, our ABACA board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Okay, we will go to Courtesy of the Floor. As a reminder, Courtesy of the Floor is 3 minutes. Also, as a reminder, you don't have to wait for Courtesy of the Floor. If anything transpires in the community during the week, you can visit our website at yorktownny.org, where you find all the contact information, not just for any of our elected officials, but all of our department heads as well. We ask that you keep your comments focused on town business, respectful, and courteous. Our town clerk has a monitor up that shows you your 3-minute times, and we ask that once that buzzer goes off, to please conclude your remarks immediately and return to your seat. And with that, I welcome everyone for Courtesy of the Floor. Please, come on up. Just, as always, state your name for the record. How are you?
I'm
Hi,
good.
Jerry.
I have 2 items. Do I get 3 minutes for each?
Nope.
You get 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, so the important one is there's a law in town that has been on the books since the 1970s. And I remember it very well because I authored it in the 1970s, and it was a campaign promise of mine. It was called Prior Notice to Interested Parties. And what it did was require that notice be provided to anyone abutting an action that would change the zone, planning board, zoning board, town board. In 2017, and the intent of the law was that that property owner know what was going on next door.
Makes sense.
In 2017, the town board changed that law to take away the requirement for return receipt requested from the post office. And that came to my attention recently when the Underhill Farms had a public informational hearing before the planning board, and I live in the condos across the street. We were not notified. They sent a letter. We did not get it. Our management company assures me they did not receive it. And so no one from my community went to the meeting. We didn't know about it. Yes, one person did, John Flynn, but he goes to all the planning board meetings. So what I'm asking the board is to reinstitute the proviso in the law that requires return receipt requested so that people will absolutely be notified, because that's the true intent of the law. Now, I know the change was done because of the cost to an applicant, but isn't it more important that somebody know what's going on next door to them? And so I ask you to please put that provision back into the law. As an aside to that, there was no provision in the law to exempt the town board from giving prior notice when they change zones or take such actions that are enumerated. And so it's my understanding that, yes, there have been instances where you guys have not given prior notice to abutting property owners. And the other one, very quickly, I have 30 seconds, is the no parking on Rochambeau. The way I understand it, the issue is people waiting for the school bus, and that is not parking. It's considered standing. And when we had the local law adopted for the lower half of Rochambeau, the local law said no parking, no standing. The local law that you adopted applies only to parking, so that's not going to accomplish what you were trying to accomplish. So I suggest you add the no standing portion to that law. And that's it.
Thank you.
And thank you, the Yorktown Police Department, because I live in Woods, too.
Yeah.
And they were phenomenal. They were absolutely phenomenal. I can't tell you how grateful we are that they are our police department.
They
Thank
are
you.
the best.
Thank you very much. Anyone else for courtesy?
Hi, good evening, Susan Siegel. I have 4 quick items. One, Councilman Luciana Hugwood, thank you for mentioning the ribbon cutting July 9th. But also I want to add that after the ribbon cutting, we're going to take a short hike to the bridge over the Taconic Parkway. Many people have absolutely no idea where that goes to. And so we're going to do that. It's from the parking lot at Woodlands. Round trip, it's 15 to 30 minutes, so it's a really easy hike. So I encourage everyone to figure out where that bridge goes. It goes to important places, okay? Supervisor Slater, regarding the letters of notification about unpaid taxes, again, I appreciate this. I don't know how many times I've spoken at this microphone. But the issue is not just sending out letters. The issue is what happens after the letters are sent. Let me remind everybody, especially this board, there is one person on that list who hasn't paid town taxes, any taxes, since 2006. That property has been twice on a foreclosure list. Nothing has happened. How many letters do you think that property owner has gotten? I would say dozens. He owes over $500,000 in taxes, in unpaid taxes. And there are lots of others. So the issue is, sending out the letters is fine, but please do something for those property owners who are on the 2019 foreclosure list who have had multiple warnings. You have to take action, and it's time to say, pay up or we take the property, because the court has already given the town the ability to take the property. On the rebidding for both the air conditioners and the garbage, can you explain why the need to rebid? Was there a defect in the specs? Did you not get any responses? Did you not like the responses? Could you also explain on the heat pumps? Are heat pumps going to be in lieu of replacing the current boiler with an oil or a gas boiler? And if so, when did the town board decide to go with heat pumps as opposed to an oil or gas combination? And did you do some kind of study that showed why the heat pumps is the better option? Because if you're spending $10,000 to already do specs for the heat pumps, it sounds like you made that decision, but this is the first the community has heard about it. So we'd like to know that. And how does that tie in to the discussions this board has had publicly about bringing the gas line from Con Ed? And I know if that's part of the decision-making process. So we'd just like more information. Thank you, and I hope to see you all on July 9th, 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Anyone else courtesy the floor?
Good evening, Ken Belfer, and I'm wearing my hat so you don't think I'm going to talk about housing tonight.
You switch those hats up for us, Ken.
You stole all my thunder on Lake Day. Thank you for announcing it. I'll just add 2 things. We have an adult fishing derby that'll go between Friday evening and Sunday evening.
Nice.
Contest to catch the biggest largemouth bass and the biggest carp. And people just have to take a picture with a ruler and send it in, and then we'll judge it.
And you do need a fishing license.
And throw the fish back in.
Fishing license. Also, if you come to one of the beaches and you want to go to an event at the next beach, we have a water taxi, a motorboat that we will transport you around.
Oh, that's fine.
That's awesome.
On Lake Day. I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly regarding Mohegan Lake. So I'll start with the good. And that's that it's just such a wonderful sense of community around the lake. But it's small communities, which is fine. Sunday night I went to one beach that had a live band and potluck, and I had a great time there. Monday night I went to what's probably the smallest beach, and they had probably close to 100 people there for their July 4th celebration, and it was just wonderful. Lake Day kind of brings all the beaches together, and we try to get a sense of the lake as one and encourage people from within the community and outside of the Mohegan Lake community to come and join us for that day and celebrate what we have there. The bad is that we all know that water runs downhill, and in a watershed like Mohegan watershed, the lake is at the bottom of the hill. And add 200 years of farming, big hotels on the lake in the 1920s, to all the residential development that changed from summer to year-round, and we're suffering from the results. So now we get to the ugly, which is that as of this morning, both of the beaches that get health department permits have been closed to swimming temporarily, we hope, due to blue-green algae blooms. And so we're part of Lake Day is also to educate people about the lake and to keep people engaged and involved so that we solve these problems, hopefully, and can succeed in improving the lake environment. And we have a lot of initiatives underway. Some are short-term, some are long-term, and hopefully we'll see the results and keep this sense of community going that we have there. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Ken.
Ken.
Thanks,
Thank
Ken.
you.
Good to see you, Ken.
Anybody else? Courtesy of the floor. Sarah?
Good evening. Councilman Diana, you mentioned the recent car show at the Grange. With gasoline prices so high, there's a lot of interest in reducing cost and therefore electric vehicles. So here in Yorktown, our residents will have an opportunity this month to see some electric vehicles, speak with EV owners about their real-life experiences. People have lots of questions about the cost, the maintenance, the driving range, charging, battery life. So being able to ask questions and have them answered in a relaxed, no-pressure environment is really helpful. So the EV show is going to be held on Sunday, July 17th, in concert with
The Yorktown Lions
the
Summer
Ray
Concert.
Vaughan 1950s radio tribute show at DeVito Park. So it should be a wonderful evening. Come at 5 o'clock, see the cars, speak to the owners. The concert starts at 6. You can get dinner from the food trucks. So it should be a nice evening. The EV show is sponsored by Yorktown 100 and the Climate Smart Communities Task Force, and some of our friends from Sustainable Westchester will also be there. So if you have questions about community solar or the Westchester Power Program or the grid rewards, you can ask those questions and get some answers as well. So sounds like a great evening, fun time. And since I still have a minute and a half left, I will mention that some of our volunteers with the Garden of Hope at Willow Park have made some great progress in erecting the deer fence. And thank you to Parks and Rec for all the work that they did putting in the posts. We ran out of fencing with 180 feet still to go. So hopefully if we get resupplied, we'll be able to complete the work this Saturday. And just in time, because we're already harvesting our first crops, and we've started delivering to our food pantries here in Yorktown.
That's amazing.
So we've been bringing chard and peas and all sorts of things to the pantries.
That's great.
So we welcome everyone who wishes to help out at the garden. Just feel free to stop by any Saturday or any Thursday, late afternoon, early evening is when we harvest, so that we can bring it on Friday and distribute on Saturdays at the pantry.
Awesome.
And thank you for mentioning the Repair Cafe on July 23rd as well. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Thursday for Friday.
Anyone else for courtesy of the floor? Anyone else?
Motion to close courtesy of the floor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jerry Schwab, I want to just thank, I know she's not here,
Thank you.
but I just want to thank her for bringing this to my attention. I wasn't aware that there was an issue. John Tegeter, can you just come up real quick? Were you notified of a notification issue regarding the public informational hearing for Underhill Farms? Apparently the Rochambeau complex never received.
Jerry sent an email, and we looked into our records and found that we followed the law and that the applicant sent to everyone that they were required and produced the required proof of mailing. It's not a proof of receipt.
Right.
Proof of mailing.
Right.
So as soon as you drop it off with the postmaster there, and he looks at all the letters that you have sent with their post on it, he gives you the stamp that says you did indeed mail these letters, and that's all that's required by the law.
I understood. Do we know if Rochambeau Drive was included in the batch?
We send it to the management company.
But the management company is saying they never received. Right.
But we have proof that it was mailed.
You have proof that it was mailed, but since there's no return receipt, we don't know definitively.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
And in 2017, because that predates me, and Councilman Diane, I don't know if you guys remember, Councilman Lackerman, but what was the thought process behind the
expense?
The expense.
Yeah, as Jerry said, it's because I think it's jumped up to like $3
per letter.
$3.5
when
bucks.
you're sending out, especially in the case of the town clerk's office, when we refer it out for any town board action, we do the surrounding areas. That's what it calls for in the code. So that can come out to 200-300 houses sometimes.
Right.
It's a very big expense.
But in this, I just want to make sure I'm clear. So in this case, we sent it to, or the applicant sent it to, excuse me, right? The applicant sent it to the management company, and then it would traditionally be the management company's responsibility to distribute that letter to the residents?
That's right.
And we only do it by mail? We don't send an email or anything else to follow?
The requirement in the law is by the mail, and that's what we do. We do, when people show interest and make a request, we try to accommodate by either giving them a call or an email. It's not official, but we get them notified. Was the mail. The official one is the mail. That's required by our law. Just a word to the cost. I think it's a little more than $3 because you do certified and return receipt. That adds up to a little bit more. However, typically it's abutters, right? It's not within 100 feet. It's abutters.
Right.
So that's usually, around this much.
Yep.
Maybe some more sometimes. It's more for you because you're sending bigger packages. We're sending the letter.
Okay.
So I would say that the cost is not the biggest factor to consider, given the soft costs associated with development projects.
Right.
That is a minor one.
I just wonder also, though, if the town board has an appetite to explore why not also allow for emails to be used as well? We have an electronic copy of what you sent. When you sent it, it's time stamped. There's no cost.
A red receipt.
Well, it's the applicant's responsibility to do the notification.
Right, but in this case, we have an applicant that fulfilled their responsibility. I understand that.
Yes.
Based on what you're telling me, but it still didn't reach the end
that's
user.
Correct.
And the management should have contacted the town as well.
Yeah, but the management company probably doesn't. They don't even.
Yeah, but it was also in the paper. There was a big ad in the paper. It was spoken about. It was in the agenda. I mean, there was a million.
And
but I
get it, but I mean, it was out there.
A resident did attend, and also remember that even if it's return receipt, it still goes to the management company.
Right.
And it's their responsibility, which
Absolutely.
Depending on the management company.
But Mac, as per my experience in real estate, when you are a management company for a complex or a town, you have monthly meetings with the board president and whatnot, and you give not only budget but any upcoming notices within the town.
Yep.
So there is some responsibility that although they're coming to ask us about the notice, they should be going to their management company. And having said what you guys just said about all the exposure around this project, it wasn't just the previous project. They could have contacted us if they couldn't find it, let's say.
The other thing, too, is that if a letter is not returned, it is deemed received. So if that's why the thought process was to do it just by U.S. mail.
That's right. If you don't get the green card back, it doesn't prevent the public hearing from going forward.
Right.
I
just don't know. I just wonder if it's worth also including the ability to send.
I like the idea about the email, Matt, and the only thing is that
you have to collect people's email, which is hard to do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think if we come out with some system that we were speaking about earlier this year for the town, for kind of notices and stuff like that, or we could have something online that says, hey, make an announcement where you could now subscribe. The issue that you may run into is how do you So how do you
already have that in place?
Yeah.
So then you're collecting the emails. I'm addressing
we do.
I'm addressing his question.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Okay. So what you could also the only issue that you would have is the town doling out the list to a third party. You can't do that, right? I don't think that because you have to actually
people may
check.
not give out their emails.
Right.
The neighbor Smith may not.
But I'm not even on that page because I don't think that the town should be giving out anyone's emails that they get who are
right.
subscribed.
So how would
I think what we were saying is though we should what I'm suggesting is maybe authorizing an applicant to be able to send an email
Upon request.
Right. Yeah. So
That would work. That through the town.
because then all you're doing is you're having the applicant contact the management company asking for the best email, and they send the notification electronically. I mean, it's just another tool in the tool belt if they wanted to go down that road.
If a neighbor, I mean, we've done that for certain neighbors.
Right.
We also advise to get the automatic mailings of agendas and things of
Which
that
is something
nature.
that, is
Just
already
so
in
you don't
place,
miss it, so there's not Murphy's Law
Of course.
biting you, that's all.
Of course.
Right, but I just feel like, John, I mean, there's, especially with the Underhill project, like there's been so much conversation about it. I understand, like, if anybody really absolutely needed a notice, there'd be no way for us to, like, not have it to give to them, correct? If they contacted one of us? Would we
Sorry?
be able to get it from the applicant and give it to them?
I would direct them to the planning and put up
Yeah.
the department, and they'd
So
be able to
it-
give them the
Because something of
notification.
such grand, I mean, I feel like that's...
Yeah, if,
I mean-
if somebody heard something and called up, we'd say, of
Sure,
course,
I'll send it to you.
there's,
Right.
there's a meeting, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm glad
Ms.
you called.
Ms. Schwab makes a good point when she said, people, isn't it worse if people, the more detrimental if people don't get notified? But listen, you could put a bazillion things in place, and it's still, people will still get missed. Unfortunately, emails get stuck in spam. Right? I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. We went to electronic billing, and my receivables went up because eventually what ended up happening was the email that we send out bills on, it gets stuck in spam because it sends out a lot of email. Hopefully I'm sending out a lot of bills. Right? So anyway, but it's that kind of thing. So that if we're looking for a foolproof plan, good luck.
Right.
There's no foolproof
Yeah,
plan,
right.
and I think that what the law is saying is that you have to prove that you've made the attempt to notify the folks.
Right.
And that's why the return receipt. As a receiver, I could deny receipt of it and send it back.
Right.
You won't get my signature on it. I may get the green card back, but it will say, not received or something. So.
Typically,
It's not foolproof.
Typically, right? No, there's nothing that's typically. And to Tom's point, especially in like associations, if you send out notices to your tenants or residents or owners or whatever, all you have to do is prove that you sent it out, whether they receive it or not.
That's correct.
You would expect them to receive it because the post office, the reliability of the post office and stuff like that. So the expectation is high that you would get it.
Yeah. And they have a mailing list. And if it's a mailing list that they went from, if it's not returned, it's deemed received by the U.S. Post Office. Whether it's
spot on.
Whether it's return receipt requested. There used to be a certificate of mailing that was a lot cheaper, but I think they stopped that, if I'm not mistaken,
We still
Diana.
get a certificate. It's in our folder when we send out a mailing, so we have proof of that mailing.
Yeah. So, emails are great. I mean, as a secondary, and we have it on the website, and you put it on what, Diana?
Put it on our website.
On our website and
And the cable channel.
the cable channels, and it was in the papers.
And you have the signs
The signs
that go on the site.
Yeah,
Yep.
the actual signs are there, yeah.
So if there was a way for an applicant to send an email, have the town send the notice. I don't know how that work on their, because for an applicant to call, everybody in the abutting properties as well, you might as well notice them on the phone call. Say, hey, by the way, there's a meeting. What do I need your email for?
Right.
There's a meeting tomorrow.
The town should never be involved with
Yeah,
that.
you're right. Yeah.
It's just a courtesy when people request it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We don't rely on it as proof.
Right.
We
you
should not
understand.
be. We should not be in the chain of responsibility, though.
Right.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Keep one thing, keep it straight.
I appreciate you just explaining that to us, John. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Do you want to talk about the no parking, no standing issue?
Yes. Generally, is the officer still here? Yeah, he may have to back me up on this. Good. It's been a while since I've written a no parking ticket. No parking still means no standing. Is that correct? In section 1200 there? Yeah. So in other words, if it's no parking, it's no standing. That
it's
was
the same.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I just want to make sure things hadn't changed in a couple of years. Quite a few years.
Couple of decades.
Good quiet.
Good.
Jeez, John.
I think
wow.
it's on that one. I think it's important to note the bridge that Susan was referring to is over off of Strang, off of 132. You take it over to Legacy Field, and it's right there. That's where you're meeting, correct? Over by Legacy Field.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
what-
was not involved
Yes. Yep. Legacy. Yeah. So the Woodlands is Strang in 132, as if you're going up to Hunterbrook townhouses.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, I want
And don't take GPS.
I do want to point out that bridge will soon have a name.
It has a name.
Next
No, it already
Tuesday-
has a name.
Well, officially be the ribbon cutting next Tuesday. It'll be
Atomic War Veterans.
Atomic War Veterans Bridge. Yes, which is great. Absolutely great. Thank you for
You're welcome.
grabbing it from me.
Well, you were struggling, so I just wanted to
We
make sure I
help-
gave you a
we help
hint.
We help you.
I just wanted, if I could, we'll continue. Enforcement of unpaid taxes, as Ms. Siegel pointed out, I think that we are re-engaging in the process in its entirety because the courts wouldn't hear any of the they wouldn't allow us to bring cases forward for 2 years.
Mhm.
So I think it's a good exercise to re-engage and do it with a letter first, which we have seen some success with already, according to the town attorney, and then we can pursue further. But I understand your point. It's always about enforcement, and we're not just putting out a letter and not following up, but I think it's important to have an opening salvo to re-engage in the entire process. I know you're going to talk about heat pumps, and to our town clerk on the rebid for the garbage contract. I wasn't present when that took place. What was...
The rebid, the bid when we received it, and we only received one bidder.
Got it.
What we've done is we've asked the department head if he would like to open that bid or to rebid to solicit more bidders to come forward. He chose to not open that bid and to reject and rebid it again.
That's what my understanding was as well, but I appreciate that. So there was only one response. Yeah. So that answers the question there. Do you want to talk about heat pumps?
Sure. Okay, Susan. Just the ship has sailed for gas, unfortunately. Con Edison was pulling the old soft shoe on us, and first it was going to be $6,000 to bring the gas pipe in. On next blush, it was going to be $35,000 to bring the gas pipe in to cut across our road, our parking lot, and our ground. So we're going back to oil with one boiler. The one boiler will run the hot water system of the building to heat. There will be no more steam. Steam is very inefficient. To get to the places where we have steam, we're going to use what are called mini-split units, which are wall-hung units that do both heating and air conditioning. So there'll be a little unit hung on certain walls. I don't recall off the top of my head exactly which places are going to get it. But these units now are super efficient. They cool down to, if I'm not mistaken, about 30 degrees. I'm sorry, they heat down or heat up to about 30 degrees below zero outside temp. Where years ago they used to heat to about 35 degrees above zero. Yeah. So the areas that are steam now will be these heat pump systems, which are also your AC units, which are also very efficient.
I think the price tag we got at one point all in when we were looking at moving the gas line was nearly $250,000 to do the whole system. So this is much more efficient, much more cost friendly. And I also want to point out that the heat pumps has been a topic of conversation with our CSC task force, Yorktown 100. They've been doing presentations on this for homeowners. And frankly, at least from my standpoint, I can say that it's great to. I always feel that it's great to lead by example. And so here we're going to be able to do that by installing these state-of-the-art units that are going to, I think, make a great improvement for the town. Yeah. Because Diane and I can tell you, you come in here and Susan, you come in the morning, you've got an 85-degree office because the steam just keeps going. And if the steam keeps going, that means the boiler keeps running, the oil keeps pumping. So it's, the whole system, the whole system is just, it's beyond antiquated. And this is going to be a massive step for a more energy efficient, user-friendly system for the town hall.
So we've cut our boilers in half, so instead of having two downstairs, we're going to have one, and we're not going to house a 1,000-gallon tank anymore. It will be a 500-gallon tank. So, and it's going to be above ground, and so on and so forth, so we know if there's ever any problems with it, but it's also going to be a double wall tank, and so on and so forth. So we've kind of nipped all of the problematic things in the bud, so to speak. I hope that answered your question. But it's basically more efficient.
Right. And I think I think that we're not gonna take comment right now. But I think the other thing that it's important to note, 'cause I can tell you that I've been very frustrated with the pace that this project's been going, to say the least. But a lot of it had to do with the fact that we were going around and around and around and around with Con Ed, on the gas line itself. And so finally you get to the point where you just have to say enough's enough. And so, Councilman Diane has been leading point on this for us, because he's not just a bit of an expert, he's quite the expert when it comes to home heating. And so he's been able to put his skills right to work for us, and he's done a great job with that. So I really appreciate his leadership on this.
Thank you.
Great to hear about Lake Day, Ken. Not so great about blue-green algae blooms, but if I remember correctly, it always happens right around my grandmother's birthday, and that's in a week. So I always hold my breath on this point of the summer, but hopefully we can get that rectified and get the beaches open again. But looking forward to being there for the hike and participating, as always, in a great day over there at Mohegan.
Excuse me. Blue-green algae. Can we still treat that with the alum, or is that not the time yet? I don't.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can come.
Yeah, I was just. It's a technical question I don't have the answer to, and I know.
I think earlier in the season.
I think it's earlier.
Very, very quickly, alum was a one-shot pilot project that we got through the state. They are still not allowing alum in New York State. They're doing another pilot on one of the Finger Lakes this season to try to reach a conclusion. We reached a very clear conclusion from all the information in the field. They underdosed our pilot so drastically for us and for Peach Lake, which was the other lake
we know it
region
works.
in the pilot, that its effectiveness was severely limited, but it had some impact. But we can't do a sufficient dose that would have like a 5-year impact on binding the phosphorus right now. We are doing regular treatments. There was, coincidentally, with the health department coming, right while they were there, our treatment vendor was there. We're doing a new treatment this year with a product called Earth Tech, which is similar to copper sulfate, but it uses less copper because it has surfactant that keeps it in the water column longer, so it's supposed to be more effective with less copper, which is good for the environment.
I wasn't sure that you could use that anymore, but okay, I didn't know.
Every 2 weeks now we're doing that.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Any other comments for courtesy?
I think it actually hurts your stomach. It's like a gastro, this bacteria, the blue algae. If you
you get real sick if you ingest it. Same with your dogs, your animals,
all your animals
right,
and
Ken?
stuff. Diarrhea, bloody
it can really get you sick. So please be careful, especially with your animals. Any other comments or courtesy of the floor? No? Great. Then we're going to move quickly into a work session. Glad to see that we have the chair of our commission, Matt Talbert, here. If you guys want to come up, Matt, Jimmy, John, and John. Sorry. I've got 3 agendas, and I'm grabbing Tommy's. I just think it's important for us to have a discussion on the topic. So I think you guys, as I said to you guys this morning, and Matt, I called you yesterday, but we were told July 4th was going to be golf day in Yorktown. And so I had my clubs, not all of them. Don't need all of them. I still remember that from growing up and playing on that course. But grabbed my clubs, grabbed my shoes, and went over, and unfortunately it wasn't golf day. So I think it's important at this point for us to have a conversation about what the future of this thing is, because Jimmy, I know you've basically been the project manager on this. Yep. Above and beyond what you should have been doing, but we believed in it, and we understood why. We understood that it would have been a great thing for the town, a great asset, but I just want to make sure I understand just where we've gone and where do we see ourselves going? And I think it's important for the town board to be able to understand where do we see this ending. Last fall, we were told Memorial Day.
Correct.
Then last winter, we were told July 4th, right?
Yep.
Then in the spring, they said mid-July.
hoping for the 4th, but mid-July is probably more likely a landing spot, yes. And the most recent conversation, they're hoping for the 23rd of July.
Right, but from my visit, the 23rd of July is not fully open.
No, that's correct. They probably couldn't even fully open all 9 holes, and from what they're even saying, until spring of 2023.
Well, I got to tell you, I was there with the supervisor and the deputy supervisor, and I was very disappointed. I mean, I'm tired of the double talk, the double speak, the moving the goalposts. I mean, now I come from several questions that I asked. I came to find that the greens are baby greens, and they need to be cut first, and then after they're cut, they still need to mature, and so I don't know where this "it's going to be open" thing is really accurate or true, because according to them,
1, 8, and 9 are the only greens that are ready to go. Every other hole would not be ready at this time.
When do you think
1, 8, and 9?
1, 8, and 9.
So we have 3 holes.
3 holes.
And
So-
have they given a reason for why 3 holes can be ready, but 6 holes can't?
What did he say?
They've sodded those holes first, and there's issues with the holes 5 and on the other side of the course that they needed to get ready and prepare. So those holes have just been seeded this past spring. So it needs time to grow, and there's certain areas, tee boxes that they still need to sod. They're planning to sod. So those that haven't even been sodded yet. There's probably 5 tee boxes that aren't even sodded at the moment.
Jimmy, how long has this been going on?
How long has this project been going
Yeah.
on? Since 2014. Since this group has been on this property. Since I've been here, it's 2019, so I've been here for 3 years. It's always been about they said another year, and now it's 3 years in, and we're still not open.
Mr. Talbert, did it predate Jimmy as a Parks and Rec superintendent?
It did, but unfortunately, Rocky died.
Right. I understand that whole
And
tragic
that was a
scenario.
whole
Right.
Different.
But since the current,
We built Granite Knolls in the same time.
well,
Actually, less time.
you've built Granite Knolls. They built Trader Joe's. I see all these other things that we were able to build. Lowe's. But in all seriousness, and I don't mean to be sarcastic about it, but the current people in charge after Rock, right? How long have they been at the helm?
It's 2018.
So we're talking 4 years. And do you...
For 9 holes.
For 9 holes. Do you feel that it's going... When do you feel it will be fully open?
So in a little bit of defense for them, the property was sick. There's no doubt about that. I've walked that property so many times. The amount of roots that are on that property are very, very difficult for him to sod over. So you had to bring in the topsoil and stuff. I get all that. What he had said about the holes... I'm sorry. What he had said about the holes not being ready to the fall, the sod had not sewn together. Okay, I can understand that.
Right.
Let's open a couple of holes. Let's open the driving range. I did speak to him 6 months ago. I asked him, get the C of O for the building. You are so close. You are so close. Just
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
Okay.
There really hasn't been a lot of change in the building.
Well, I think Mr. Landy can speak directly to that.
I'm sure he could. I asked him if he wanted us to bring Mr. Landy in, just give him a little help, little pointers,
Direction.
little this, little that, and he's there to help. Mr. Landy's there to help.
Right.
Besides facilitate the
Needs of the
building,
code, yeah.
the building code.
So they've been there since 2018, but he has been the reason why they are there now is because they had a relationship with Rocky, right? They were partners.
I would assume so.
Okay, oh, that's correct, right? So they've been there longer than 2018.
Really, since 2014.
They were there from the get-go. They're on their own.
They were there from the get-go, but I think it's unfair to put it back that far.
And I'm not trying to. I'm not.
But let's not. I've only been on the town board since January, and I have given them beyond the benefit of doubt. I've taken time with several people that I respect to go there, including you, Mr. Talbert, and we've sat there. And yes, there was numerous of punch list items open before a C of O, and it was very obvious that they needed to move on the project or get off the project. And they promised to my face that they were going to move on the project. And I have now made plenty of excuses about the sod and the itsy bitsy ants and whatever's going on there. And still I get patrons of this community saying, we're built on our parks. This licensee is supposed to open. Are we opening? And I am no longer confident to say, yes, we are opening. And it is completely sad to me, regardless if it's open or not, how many town members have supported, negotiated, worked with them, time and hours, even when we were there, the runarounds, the stories. The bottom line is, I mean, if you wanted to build it, you would have built it, and you had all this extra help.
The principal of the job right now, Frank, was asked to come to the commission meeting last month.
Mm-hmm.
Did not.
He did. No, he came. I told him point blank, you had to have a CFO by July 1st. If you need help, reach out to me. I have a lot of connections that I can get help.
I'm sure he promised you it would be there, right?
No.
Well, no, he talked about lending.
No,
Is the one
he
talked
said
about
there's
lending?
nothing in his contract that says he has to have a CFO by July 1st.
So there's nothing
And
in his
I said,
contract.
please
so
don't
that's
tell
why
me
we're not-
that.
Yeah,
Please
exactly.
Well,
Let's talk to Mr. Landy. You
Let's-
have a report for us?
Actually, I have one question
Oh, sorry.
for Mr. Talbot. Matt, I know we actually have someone who's sort of an expert in golf courses on our commission.
Mm-hmm.
What is his opinion if he shared with you?
I think he's very frustrated. I didn't bring him to us tonight just because
You didn't
I think
want his blood pressure going through?
his frustration level is very high. He has lended his expertise to them as much as he feels he can because it's just not. We're not
Falling
moving
on
forward.
deaf ears.
So it sounds to me that the Parks and Rec Commission. By the way, I just want to also make a point that we did invite them to town board meetings several times,
And they did not come.
and they simply refused to come.
And I just want to echo this fact that the COO for the restaurant isn't open. I might be an amateur at 41 as a businesswoman, but why are you running a restaurant for 3 holes? So this game has got to stop. This game has got to stop. The hi-hat's still hanging.
Mm-hmm.
That takes 2 screws. The kitchen items not placed correctly. Who's laying out your kitchen?
I think Mr. Landy will.
Well, yeah. So, but my point, the other point I wanted to make though was it sounds like what you're telling the board is that the Parks and Rec Commission has bent over backwards and
Oh, yes.
done probably about a dozen
For many years.
somersaults to try to get them to a place where we are utilizing a town park.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the parts, the fairways that are done and the greens that are done are gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
you
I-
spoke
I-
about the little ants. They were the mole crickets. They destroyed a green on them. So that was
One
you know,
green.
That's a setback. But
it's
you
a
know,
setback.
I don't know how much a green costs. I believe it costs a lot of money, and the amount of time, and now you have to wait for that sod to
But-
sew together again.
But the issue that I have is, and when I first became a councilman, they reached out to me. I went there. I tried to help them. I tried to negotiate with them to get past whatever the issues were. I walked the inside of that building. I walked the inside of the building on July 4th yesterday. It has not changed. There's still wires hanging from the ceiling. I mean, if he was going to get a CFO for July 1st, even July 17th or July 19th, what's the date? What's the date? What's the new date now?
July 23rd.
July 23rd.
I've kind of hit a frustration.
I'm gonna love to hear the report from Mr. Landy because I don't think they even have doors in the place. I mean, so while they're waiting for the
They
green,
don't have a handicap accessible door.
so while they're waiting, hold on a second. While they're waiting for the green to happen, there's a bazillion other things that could be happening there that just aren't happening.
But Mr.
And that's
Talbot-
the issue I have.
So
And you know,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you know, I walked the whole golf course. Okay, I got the 5-cent tour, the nickel tour, and in my estimate, that course will not be open for a year. Okay, there is no irrigation. The grass is down, but there's no irrigation. I went inside. The same things from when I was there 2 months ago are still the same things that are not done yet. There's air conditioners not in place, the whole 9 yards. They have to focus. They're not. Then my estimate, and I'm sorry, Yorktown, but it'll be this time next year before they're open.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
You're
I
being
just-
optimistic.
I just want to mention something. I hear about the mole crickets. I hear that. But I know that each one of us is a professional outside of being a volunteer and working for the town and whatnot. And there's always setbacks. You're the first one to tell, and in your business, you know what your setbacks are. I've never heard of mole crickets. I'm assuming if you're a golfer, you have. I don't know. But it's one of those things where I say, you budget for that setback. It can't be that the angels from above are giving them all of the delays in the world. At this point, when do the excuses stop? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're right. There's setbacks. There's the weather. I used to be in construction. When it rained, I lost a week. It's not that it's not. Products were delayed. All of those I understand. Look at the inclusive playground. Like, how long were we waiting for a piece here and a piece there?
But look how long it took us to build it.
I know. 1 2 seconds. It was fun.
I'm sure Granite Knolls had setbacks. I'm sure Trader Joe's had setbacks. I'm sure
saying,
Uncle
I guess
Giuseppe's
what
had
I'm saying
setbacks.
is, at some point, are these amateurs that are building this, or like these are real professionals that want this golf course to run? Do they have a need to give this service to the town?
The only professionals
And you know how
there,
much
Lou?
money is going out the window?
The only professionals there is Frank, who's a golf pro. That's it. Maybe he's built some. Maybe I don't think he's even built golf courses.
No, but he does have a.
He does have a knowledge of that.
No, he has a person on the payroll that is very extremely.
Look, we're not knocking them. We just want the project moved forward, and it's just not happening. I mean, that's just the bottom line. They are professionals. It does look nice. It will be a very fantastic finished product. But the operative word here is finished product. That's what we're trying to get at. And we were I'm sorry, man. We were dancing around what the word open meant. Like I had to ask him 30 questions.
Opportunities on open as far as open the building, open the driving range.
Right.
I had to dance around it with him. I had to ask him 20 questions to figure out what they in their mind was open. You know, where everybody else is thinking we're playing golf. That's what open means. Fully open.
Fully open.
Right. No, it's like this definition that we're splitting hairs about what it means. I mean, come on.
I'm just uncomfortable talking to people about it because I don't know what to say anymore.
Right.
I don't want to come
I feel the same way.
Passing on false information.
We've done that already.
We've done it, yeah.
Right.
And I
Done that
can't.
a number of times.
How many times can we say we're sorry?
But I mean, if you think about it, though, so the planning department, you rolled your sleeves up and you got really involved with the site plan to make sure it was done correctly. The Parks and Rec Commission, the Parks and Rec Department. I mean, geez, Jimmy. I mean, I don't know what more you could have done to coddle the thing. And so I want to talk to John Landy. Talk to me about from the building inspector's perspective. Have you gone to do any inspections recently?
We've gone there over the past 6 months.
When was the most recent inspection you gave?
I believe it was Friday.
So you were there on Friday. When was the time you were there before that?
Wednesday.
So you were there this past Wednesday and this past Friday?
Correct.
And what did you find?
I have a list of 18 items that I did share with the board. I sent it out on the 28th of June. And it has 18 items on it, which is light. I mean, it's bare bones necessity to get done to open this facility.
Mm-hmm.
When I say facility, I mean the clubhouse.
The restaurant included?
The restaurant clubhouse. You're just looking for a CO for the restaurant clubhouse.
Just a CO for the restaurant.
Not the actual golfing amenities or anything like that.
There's a couple items on here that is because it's public safety
Mm-hmm.
items, like the bridges.
You saw that when we were there?
Yep.
You crossed it. I wouldn't even cross it.
Yeah. Those bridges have to be completely
done.
redone.
Yeah, I don't mean they're done. I mean
engineered,
they're
no
kaput.
guardrails, no wood. The wood on them currently is shot.
Yep.
So I will not allow the public to use them.
Right.
So with that course, that means you're not going to get around that course. Whether it's hole 8, 9, 1, 5, you're not going to get to it.
Mm-hmm. Frank said to me that it was just the planks.
That's the bridge.
And they were never engineered?
No engineering on them. No engineering sent in to me. No engineering, nothing. I talked to him when I was there on Wednesday. Oh, we're getting it.
So the base of the bridge that holds the planks, is that's fine or that's not fine?
I'm not an engineer.
Okay.
I cannot. I said I need engineering on it, but I know the structure above that you walk on the planks is shot.
Okay.
There's no guardrails. There's no guardrails, nothing. You can fall right off the side.
Oh, yeah, we saw that.
What else you got?
The Ansel system. I'll go down my list from 1 to 18. How's that sound?
Sure.
This is, again, mainly the clubhouse restaurant.
Right.
The Ansel system, not completed. There's no heads on it. It's not tested. Nothing. I was told there's a supply chain. Well, that's not true.
Was that there when you went 6 months ago?
That was there, same position, same everything, 6 months ago.
Matt, do you concur? Okay. So that hasn't moved in 6 months.
And
Hasn't
John,
moved
do
in
you know
6
who that
months.
fire suppression system people are?
Not off the top of my head, but I know my staff has contacted them, and it's just...
Okay, because I've seen Ansel systems going in restaurants all over the place.
Yeah. They're going in Trader Joe's. They're going in...
Right.
Uncle G's.
Uncle G's. They're going in everywhere.
The other part, I think, John, was that they had, it's not just the Ansel system, but the actual fire alarm system.
That's not even... I didn't even get there.
Oh, I'll let you get there. I'm sorry.
That's like
We're gonna be here all
non-existent.
night.
That's non-existent.
No.
The hood system. The hood system's half
Don't
in.
get me going on that.
Yeah, it's half in.
The hood system is half in.
Half in, not completed.
Was it that way 6 months ago?
Yes.
So it hasn't. So we haven't made any improvements in 6 months to the hood system.
So we can save this. Everything I'm giving you was there 6 months ago.
Okay. So, well, I was just going to keep asking you because I think it's just.
I no
From the board-
disrespect, but I'm going to
confirming
keep
that they
saying
are.
That's
yes.
fine. So we know that everything that you've
I can
identified was there
confirm.
6 months ago,
I can
which
confirm.
is important for the town board and the public to know.
They now have installed 2 grease trap systems, from what I'm told. One I saw inside the building. The one outside the building looked like a septic tank to me, but they're saying that's a grease trap. There's a hole inside the kitchen where the grease trap is. The floor's all cut open. Correct? That's been like that forever. The grease trap outside is fully exposed. I don't even know if it's hooked up.
I don't think.
I saw it the other day. Yeah, yesterday.
It's fully exposed. You can't.
That's the septic tank grease trap that they're calling it, right?
Well,
the one in the front?
it looks like a septic tank
Looks like a
to
septic
me.
tank to me, too.
A holding pit.
I've never seen a grease trap look like a septic tank.
No.
I've seen them in metal.
Yeah, I've seen them on the side of
Yeah, they're huge. They're metal. They're not septic.
Is that would that be a Board of Health issue once they got the CO?
Yeah, that's even on.
We're not even talking Board of Health stuff at this
We're
point.
not even talking Board of Health because Board of Health has to come in and go over the whole building after I do.
Right. And that's something that you know intimately because of your experience with the restaurants.
See, I can't give a CO until I see a Board of Health approval.
Yeah. So even if they got all this done, you
need-
still couldn't get the CO because they still have to go to the Board of Health.
Correct. And they have to come in, and then they have to do it. They have to look at almost everything I am.
All right, so continue with your list. So the grease trap is not complete.
Not complete. I don't even. Okay, now we can go to the fire alarms. There are none.
No fire alarms.
There's wires.
Wires that are hanging out of the roof?
Wires that are hanging
out of
out.
the ceiling?
Right out of the ceiling.
Okay. Well, we saw those yesterday.
Out of the ceiling, off the walls. It's just non-existent. If you want to talk to an expert, talk to Marshall. He can have everything done.
Which is what you said when we were there yesterday.
There is no supply chain issue
on
for
fire alarms.
alarm systems.
Right.
There is supply chain issue for knockbox, but that's not an issue here.
That's not an issue, yeah.
Right. So in the last 6 months, they could have had it done.
Correct. Handrails going upstairs. Handrails wherever needed. There are none. No handrails. The wiring in the kitchen. The wiring for the building apparently runs through the kitchen. It's all exposed, which leaves big, huge gaps.
We saw that yesterday,
correct?
too.
From the wall to the ceiling in the kitchen. This is a kitchen.
That's because they had to trace the wires for the fire suppression system.
That's what he said?
No.
So they left half the ceiling?
Half
Half
the
the
wall.
wall.
Half the wall.
open
Yeah,
to the
you can
ceiling.
see it. Yeah.
And all the wires are running through it.
Yep.
You
Wire,
could tone-
the
you
amount
could
of
tone
wires
if you want to trace
that are
them.
running through that kitchen, you would think they were servicing a high-rise building.
So,
I mean, everything must have a home run in that place. Everything.
like, there's no teeing off anything. Same breaker. One breaker for everything. Where's the box?
There's no confusion then.
I think it's in a room within the kitchen.
Oh, so in the kitchen is the mechanical room.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the alarm.
And what about the ventilation in the kitchen?
The box is there, but there's nothing hooked up. I'm sorry.
So all the wires are everywhere, but there's no breakers in the box.
I think there are for some, but it's not complete. I definitely am going to talk to the electrical inspector who
Yes.
inspected
Have
this
him label
for
it.
us. Well, the inspector himself that okayed so far. Not happy with that. There's a door out of the kitchen to nowhere.
Yep.
There's no stairs. There's just a door. I don't know where it goes.
Is it open?
It's a ramp for delivery.
Oh. Okay.
You didn't know that?
Oh, God.
Stand up and come to the mic.
They have a dumbwaiter.
I believe the hope was to one day make that a walk-in fridge, but where's
Right.
the fridge? I don't know.
But we don't have a fridge, right?
It's on the patio.
Is there a walk-in fridge on the property that we're aware of?
No.
Yeah.
No walk-in fridge on the property.
I don't think there's a
Yeah, it's
fridge
there.
on the property. Yeah, just a regular commercial. Yeah. I'm not commercial.
Kitchen, residential kitchen fridge.
Fridge.
What?
There is a walk-in fridge on the property.
Like the one
There
in my
is?
garage?
Yeah, it's on the patio in pieces.
In pieces.
Oh.
Okay.
So many things they
Not a
could be
functional
doing,
one.
right?
But
While
they
they're
could. They
waiting for
could
the
have.
grass.
Right, but they could have had that done, right?
They could have had that done. You would think.
So long
There's
to get the
no,
grass.
there's
love
no
to hear
doors
this and get through
going into the kitchen.
Yeah.
No doors, right?
Swinging doors.
No swinging doors. We saw that.
No safety door. Nothing.
Home Depot sent the wrong ones.
Yeah. Okay. There's
No, you laughed. That was what we were told
there's
yesterday.
No,
That was the.
the floors are not complete.
No, but that's what they told us yesterday.
I mean, that's.
That they were sent the wrong doors.
If you go
For
into the
6
pro
months.
shop, there's no floors.
No floors.
Where there's no floors?
Pro shop.
Pro shop. No floors.
What is
You
it,
walk
just
into the
plywood?
left.
I thought there was just a case there, right? It was like
There's
a
nothing.
glass case.
I mean,
yeah.
there's like, it's either plywood or concrete or a mix of both.
Okay.
There again, exterior doors, no staircases. The bridges we went over.
Yep.
No
Propane.
propane. Company's been calling me for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and I've been dealing with them on that and explained to them numerous times what they can do, where they can go, how they can hook it up, and still nothing.
So the propane company's calling you
Mm-hmm.
for the last month,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been instructing them how to do it, but
Where they could do it, how to put it in.
but nothing, but they haven't executed it.
No.
Do we
John,
know? Do we
please.
know why? Sorry, Tom.
No. John, please explain where the pad is for the
propane tank.
propane tank.
I believe it's at the patio.
Yeah,
Come on, up.
it's at the patio.
Like where you dine?
This from here to John away from the vent hood.
Yeah,
Can't do
they had to
that.
move it because of the vent hood.
They had to move it because of the. But
Yeah.
They haven't moved
Yeah.
it yet.
They recognize that it needs to be
Okay,
moved.
so that
And
so
that's
at least
gotta
the
go across the
placement's
parking lot.
being rectified,
I
but
didn't
there's
get
still
to that part.
okay.
I'll-
Continue.
Let me please.
I feel like it's
continue.
Candyland.
Sorry, John. Sorry.
It's
sorry.
shoots and ladders.
Shoots
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's it.
That's better.
Shoots and ladders. You make me lose my spot.
You're at
Propane tank.
propane. You're at the 12.
Okay. The kitchen equipment that has to be tied down. It's got to be leashed. Correct?
Correct.
Not.
Well, you can unleash it, clean it.
Well, no, it's on a leash
can
that
clean
you
all
can
that.
pull it.
Anything hooked up to gas
Oh, that has to be leashed.
has to be leashed.
Has to be
And,
leashed,
and you
so it
can't
can only
unleash.
be pulled so far that
You can clean it.
it's shorter than the supply line to the
Correct.
apparatus.
Okay.
I think it's like an 8
It's
inch.
not leashed. The cabinet's flying all over the place.
They're not even hooked up in the spots that they're going. There's just equipment in the kitchen.
So how are they putting an Ansel in if you don't? But never mind. Go on. I'm sorry. We need to get through this because we're going to be here till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Let 'em-
Electric trenches throughout the property, not backfilled. Campers.
Yeah,
There's
I
2
wanna
campers
talk
on the
about this.
property that I've been for over a year.
Yeah. Why do they have
Supervisor
campers?
Slater, have I not been complaining
You
over a
have.
year?
But why do they have campers?
Well, there is a gentleman living in one of them, and the other one they say is the gentleman who's doing the hood and Ansel system has his equipment in it.
How long has the campers been there?
Years.
Jim?
Since before I was on board, so at least 2019.
Matt? Since So we're looking at least 3 years of campers where people are living out of.
And now one of the camper is a container?
Is that
Well,
what you're telling
that's
me?
what they're telling me.
A storage container?
Storage.
You weren't able to look at it?
Unless I get a warrant, they don't have to let me in it.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm not going that route, they tell me it's storage. I'm telling you, get it out. I don't care. It's camper. I will be issuing violations.
Feel free.
For the campers.
By the way, I just for the remind the board and the public, have you ever issued a stop work order on this?
No. Matter of fact, quite the opposite.
I just wanted to make sure we were clear on that.
To be quite clear, I don't know if the attorney's going to kill me, but we've had many meetings where it's been, we call it the Big Three meeting with the engineer, myself, and planning, where we've been basically push. Get this thing going, get this thing open.
Help them any way you
Help
can.
them any way you can.
Get
Do
them back
whatever
on
it
track.
takes, get them going.
Sound familiar, Mr. Talbert?
I respect that because people like to point the finger.
Well,
but I just wanted it to be clear, though, that we've never
Held it back.
There's many a times that Supervisor Slater's kind of like held me at the collar telling me,
I've never held you at the collar. I can't reach.
we let him help him out.
No, he's too tall.
Help him out. Yeah.
Help him out.
No, well, we
Help him out.
wanted to see them succeed.
And, in the end, he's right. I kind of like try and go by the book. Not that he doesn't. That's not what I mean.
I get it.
He just
But this one we were trying to be as flexible and amicable as possible.
correct.
Kinder, gentler, John.
To get it done the right way.
To get it done the right way.
But I want it. Yeah, I kind of
Yes,
So
absolutely.
parking lot. Let's get into the parking lot.
Oh,
They
boy.
have.
What do you think, Mr. Jageter? The parking lot was before you, right? The planning board?
Oh, it has, but it has.
It has.
And everything it has done has to be ripped out. They ran for the lighting in the parking lot wires through PEX. I don't know if anybody knows what PEX is. PEX is a water line.
Yeah, why wouldn't they put it under like a Schedule 80 or a real PVC pipe? Or a conduit of some sort? It's electrical.
Got to be ripped out. Hot PEX, red PEX.
Oh.
So maybe they figured maybe the wire's going to get hot, so they used hot PEX. I don't know. It's got to be ripped out. So all the concrete that they
So that
poured,
was like the plantings that we saw where they had like the thing coming out of the ground and then the wires are spilling out.
yeah.
Spilling
And
out,
did
yeah.
you see the red pipe? That
Yeah,
was
I
in?
saw it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
red
that's
pipe's for water.
PEX.
The hot water.
That's water pipe.
Yeah,
That's
no,
water
I
pipe.
understand.
Not even closely allowed to.
That's
be
for
used.
plumbing.
But I don't understand, but doesn't the electrician do that? So who did it? A
Did
shoemaker?
the electrical inspector see that?
I'm going to find out. Again,
Because the
there's a
electrician
lot
would
of
have put an
things
electrical conduit.
that the electrical inspector should have seen.
Right.
And last time I
they
checked, if you're doing something like that, you want to put like the cables in one and you put the electric in another because you don't want one to burn out and then affect the other lighting. Why would they have a sea of wires and not it separate? And you
And
have to cut into the parking lot.
2 or 3 items ago, I talked about trenches open with wiring in it. That all had the proper conduit.
So then why would they?
John, are they using an electrical inspector that we know that's been part
They
of?
have to.
Okay.
They have to. We only use 3, now we're down to 2. So they have to use one of those 2 services. So I will find out which one they did use
And have a conversation.
and have a little conversation with them.
Hey, Mr. Ciarci, you might want to run and hide before we start asking you questions on this.
Now, the septic system, I've been requesting certification, which Jimmy was very kind to send to me, but it's from 2015 before the project started. Since then, they've buried the system about 4 or 5 feet.
That's too deep.
They've run it over from the plans that Jimmy has sent me to put their driving range in. I want it recertified
No
because I don't think it's going to work.
There's not enough percolation there.
Not enough percolation. Plus, you cannot run equipment. And I
Oh, on
saw,
top of it.
yeah, and I saw personally mounds and mounds and mounds of dirt over where they say the fields are.
Yes.
Which means when they run the tractors in to pull the dirt out, they're
Rip up the
running
fields.
over their fields.
And
Did
they get no
rip them out?
evaporation
Did
either.
they? I don't know. I want it
Do they even have
recertified.
fields?
I don't know. I want it certified again.
This is never going to happen.
No. Mm-mm. Then myself and Dan Ciarci, the town engineer, went and walked the property. And down in the back by the stream next to all the irrigation pipe.
The back right side, if you're coming in the parking lot, just keep walking to the
Straight back.
Straight back.
It's a mess back there.
They got all organics dumped right next to the
Told
stream.
you, they were dumping trees.
They have all, for lack of a better word, mafia blocks back there holding back all the organics. All their
You don't like cinder blocks? You don't like them? You got something against them?
They're the big concrete blocks. All the irrigation pipe is there. So they put all the greens in. They put all the sod in. They put like Councilman Diana said, they're going to have to rip it all up. And I remember having meetings with them. They were crying that Dan cut off their water supply.
Right.
Why did he
They
do
have
that?
plenty of water in the back.
Yeah, that's why I was back there. We had a problem with the stream draining. We had a constituent.
But why do you care about water if you don't put a system in?
So we were looking at that because that part ends up going right under the Taconic, on the culvert, and that's why we were back there taking a look to see if there was anything going on. It's a mess back there, but it's a huge stream. The stream gets very
I had
wide.
A few
Plenty
conversations
of water.
with Frank about irrigation because when I was an inspector in Mamaroneck, I worked
all water.
I worked with Wingfoot, one of the most exclusive country clubs in the country.
Yep.
And I explained to him how they worked with me on their irrigation systems, and this is how they did it, and this is what
Right?
they did.
Remember us
and
having these conversations? Yep. What happened from that?
Nothing.
So they did buy the pipe. They bought the
and
the heads.
No, I just saw pipe.
But the wood's there for the bridges. I just want you to know now.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, now it's there.
Okay. So most of these things that we talk about on this items, on my items, there's much more if we walked the property for public safety, like the bridges and pathways and things of that nature that aren't even close to being done. So, in my opinion, from seeing how other golf courses have been built and things of that nature, your expectation of next year at this time with what's currently happening there is a dream.
I knew you.
That's terrible.
No comment.
Is a dream because you're basically going to have to rip up and tear out 50% of what you did to fix it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, well, it's about time that we got to this point. You know, I think that I think we've demonstrated a real willingness to build a partnership, to work with people, to see this succeed. But don't take our kindness as a weakness. And it's very clear that I think we're being taken.
Well, I was there on Wednesday.
Being taken advantage of.
Spoke with Frank because I waited for him to come back. He told me he has crews working around the clock to finish this.
Mm-hmm.
When my staff went there on Friday,
3 guys.
I'm sorry?
3 guys.
Nobody was there but
Oh.
Frank.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. There was only 3 guys.
And nothing was done. Not one item.
Right.
Yeah, it's too much at this point. It's just
The problem is they're working around the clock, but not on the golf course. That's where they need to work.
I
but-
didn't even get to the upstairs portion because that's off limits to the public, but there's
Do I even want to know what's up there?
no.
I plead the 5th.
Maybe
I
we should,
I
maybe we
do
should take
believe
a ride
someone's
over
living
there
upstairs.
after the meeting and see if anyone's working. Since
I'm
they're
sorry?
on the
I
clock.
think someone's living up there.
So but you have the camper and you have upstairs?
There's remnants of people, showering and
Okay.
toothbrush, and
They don't have that on the camper?
I did not go in it.
It's a bit sarcastic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
One camper's removed.
Since when? Yesterday?
Yeah, there was only one there.
No, there was two.
No,
There's
there's
the other one.
Right
one
next to
behind
it.
the other.
There's one behind the other.
Oh, behind you. I didn't see the other one.
Yeah.
They still got to stripe the
They
parking
still
lot,
do.
right? They got to clean
Stripe
the parking lot.
They
Get
gotta
everything out.
rip up the
Yeah,
parking
they got
lot.
to rip it up first.
They got to pave it and they got to empty it.
But the frustrating part is we have asked them multiple times, right, Adam? We've asked them multiple times to come to town board meetings to have these discussions with us, and they just blatantly refuse to come.
They don't have anything to say.
We've had meetings. You, me, Dan, John
Yeah.
had meetings with them.
Yeah.
Numerous.
We've had meetings where we were supposed to be at the golf course. Remember, Adam? We show up, and the principals refuse to meet with us and don't even show up after agreeing to meeting with us. I mean, that's...
I'm just saying, your staff.
No, the staff's been fantastic. This is not a failure of...
I know planning's bent over. Put them on agendas.
Oh, yeah.
Hours before the agenda.
Yep.
Before
I know.
the meeting.
Yeah, because we want this open for our residents.
For our residents.
That's what our push is, and that's why I'm so upset. I mean, this is they're supposed to be able. How are they with 2 or 3 of the items on your list? How are they going to have that done by like the 21st of this month?
No way.
Give me a break. And then you're splitting hairs, with whether or not what the definition of open is. I mean, it's just.
You do a good push, you can open a restaurant and get some revenue to do the rest of the work.
John, I have a concern, though, from some of your comments. It sounds like this building is extremely, extremely unsafe.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
Right, but with the electrical
areas,
out.
But it's the behind the scenes, as you know, in a restaurant that count.
But my concern is you've been talking a lot about exposed wires and things that aren't completed. And it sounds like there's actually a risk of electrical fire.
Could be.
And we have possibly someone living there.
Possibly. I don't have proof of that.
Right. But maybe we need to, and can we enforce an inspection of that upstairs?
I was up there.
Okay. Oh, and that's what
I just didn't include it in my list because it's not really public area. So I wasn't as concerned with it. I'm more concerned with it in someone living there.
Yeah.
And
but I think that living there adds a whole new
hazard
wrinkle to the safety. And you have someone, if that is the case, living in a building that's unfinished, no CO, right, and an extreme risk.
Right, 'cause there's no fire alarms. There's
no smokes, no fires, nothing.
Yeah, that's
Mr. Rodriguez. Legally, we're talk to me.
Talk to us.
My feeling, quite frankly, is issue a stop work and put out an RFP. Enough's enough.
We have renewed this permit over and over.
Which permit?
Their building.
Their building permit, right?
You can put out the RFP whenever you want in terms of a stop work order. If the building inspector thinks that's appropriate, there's.
Do you feel that a stop work order is necessary at this point?
Until I get proof that they're going to start doing things the right way, yes. Because everything they're doing, I have to have them pull out.
Mr. Talbert, from the commission standpoint, where are you guys on a stop work?
We're going to follow John's lead.
Jim?
We're going to follow the building inspector here.
There is provisions in the state code allowing me to take action based upon workmanship. The workmanship, again, at the bar area and the seating area, it's beautiful.
No, it is.
They did some beautiful work, don't get me wrong. It's behind the scenes where it's
That's
most
scary.
important for
Safety.
a restaurant.
Yeah.
The kitchen. The kitchen's a disaster. So from what I'm seeing going on there, and this is listed as a restaurant, I would stop it until I saw a professional.
Has there been any electrical inspections there at all, John?
From what I understand, yeah. I think we got certificates.
Okay.
And I want to see who did that. Because, again, even though we have a third-party inspection agency, I can override that. And I am definitely overriding that.
Okay.
To be
Just
quite
based on what you saw.
Yep.
To be quite honest, when I first became councilman, I took office. I went there myself. I was an advocate to continue to try to work with them,
right?
Because in my mind, I just want the place to be open.
Right.
And I was very fierce about it. I said, you know what? I think the fastest possible route for this place to actually be open for our residents is to continue to work with them. At this point, I got to tell you, I don't see the place opening.
I don't. Just the shape of the kitchen alone, no way. No way.
I'm on board with the supervisor.
Everyone on board?
Yes.
Ed?
I think so. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I think so.
John, out of curiosity, the sprinkler system? Do they have dining room sprinkler system installed?
No.
It's not. I don't believe it's
You don't need-
required in
no.
that small of a
Are you
restaurant.
sure?
Yeah.
I believe it's 50 people,
Oh, okay.
and you're under that.
They're under 50 seats?
So you don't have the seating capacity for that?
I thought they had 70 seats.
No.
Okay.
You know what? But I guess maybe if you crafted like outside, but inside in that little area where the fireplace is.
No, it's small.
Yeah, maybe outside.
All right.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
do-
I would never issue a seating capacity of more than 50 in there anyway. It's too small.
Okay.
It's too small, based upon the state requirements.
Jim, what? I'm sorry, Ed.
No, it's all right. I haven't seen the plans on the seating area, so.
Oh, I haven't either yet.
Oh.
Jimmy, what do you got to do on the RFP side? Is that something that maybe the commission can help you with? Is that something that I know obviously Adam's going to help you with it, but I mean I think this has got to be put on the front burner.
Yeah, it's something we need to get started on working on if that's the direction we're going to go on. It's not something that we've been really working on just yet, but we need to get going if that's the direction the town board wants
I think
to
it's
go
clear from the town board's perspective. It's time for us to get an RFP on the street.
Yep.
And get it crafted. Let's get on the street. Let's see what we get back.
I know the county has some RPs that were out in recent years.
Maybe you can ask Commissioner Falcone to give you a hand.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm sure we can get others as well that you can model it off of. But we got to get this thing moving because it's clearly just not working with the current situation.
It's going to take us a little while to finish crafting that RFP, right?
I would imagine.
Okay,
yeah.
So why don't we say, I know in a week, probably nothing's really going to occur that's going to be earth-shattering. Why don't we give him to the 24th? And let's see, does he come through? After that, go at it.
But what happens on the 24th?
24th, wasn't that the day? Wasn't that the
23rd is when he said he'd be open by.
Or the 23rd,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But he also told us he was going to be open on Memorial Day. He told us he was going to be open July 4th. He told us he was going to be open in the spring. He told us he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then also, to Councilman Esposito's point, what's open? Are they fully operational July 23rd?
Would be open on the 23rd, which I was told would be the 3 holes, the 1st, the 8th, and the 9th. But that would include the bridge. So really, in my humble opinion, would be at most just be the driving range on the 23rd. That's the most of the.
I don't know if that qualifies as open in my
Are
mind.
we at the point where we have to define open? I mean, for me, open is they're going to be open. That's it. They're fully open. They're in business.
They can
they're
run a
humming
restaurant. They
along.
can.
Right.
I mean,
And
that's
based
what
off of-
where are we? Where we got to
They're not
define?
even get the restaurant open.
If I may.
Yep.
Trying to even get the Board of Health even close to that place within 8 weeks.
So how are they going to open if they don't have a CO? They don't have Board of Health.
Food truck.
And again, all we're doing is how many more times are we going to extend the courtesy and kindness that's not reciprocated? Because if it was reciprocated, you would have a finished product.
Yeah, realistically.
Or at least a much more defined finished product than what we're discussing tonight. What we're discussing is it's laughable.
We're also discussing the fact that there may be shortcuts or things that are not approved, which even if it was somewhat more complete, we would have to undo certain levels of work because of the way that it was done. It's a huge disappointment, and
You're right.
frankly just feel that I remember from the first day that I met them there, and Frank was trying to give me his word on when he could open, and it was the mystery question was when we could open, and I understood that in construction it was hard to foresee the entire future, but at this point I don't have any more faith.
No, I get it, and I think they've had plenty of time. And like I said, 6 months ago, I was on the other side. I was a big advocate. I said, let's continue to work with these guys. These guys are going to get the job done. It's 6 months later. I walked into the restaurant yesterday. It looked the same. It looked the same. Nothing has changed. They got camera wires. They got everything's hanging out of the ceiling. It's at this point, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to get done.
And Mr. Landy, it's going to cost them a lot of money to rectify some of the mistakes that they've made, like the septic tank, the fields, all of that. It's a huge investment.
I have a feeling they're going to have to redo the septic system, just by my experience with it and knowing you cannot continually run machines over it, especially a system of that age. They probably use all clay pipe, which is all crushed.
And that's a huge investment. So on top of all the money that they've put in, they'll have to go and lift all that sod.
You're going to lift all that sod.
You're going to lose
up.
a lot of it.
The sprinkler, the irrigation system alone, forget it. The work.
Do you think they just decided not to do the irrigation system because of the water table?
I don't know, but the pipe's there.
Right.
Pipes are all there. And I know they were screaming at Dan for their water.
Well, when you freshly lay sod, it's a lot of water.
Yeah.
So that I know.
But
I'm just saying.
it's just clear that there's significant safety issues regardless, right? And if it was any other...
If it was any other building in this town, I would have shut it down a long time ago.
All right, so then issue the stop. I think we issue the stop work order. Jimmy, I want you getting on this RFP. Please, Mr. Talbert, if the commission can help him on this. Okay. But let's get moving. I mean, this is just a tremendous disappointment to this community, and it's no one's fault of the towns. No one's. You guys have bent over backwards. You guys have worked diligently to get this thing open. Unfortunately, I'll say it again. You have people who just take our kindness as a weakness.
Yeah, between
and enough's
the
enough.
commission, the building department, the planning
Enough's
department, town clerk, the board, I feel like at this point, I don't know what else to do.
I don't think there's one department in this building that did not.
That hasn't touched this project. Yeah, you're right. So,
I just don't think they're capable. I just don't think, I don't think they're capable. Whether they're taking advantage of us or not, I just don't think they could do the job. Yeah. I just don't think they could get it done.
Just stand on the mic if you're going to speak, guys.
I do not believe they're taking advantage of us. I do believe they may be over their head. And taking advantage, I don't think was in their mind, because the money that's been spent is astronomical. They didn't spend the money to fail. Where we are right now is not at a good point.
Right.
And it's at no fault of the towns.
I'm sorry?
Not at all.
It's at no fault of the towns.
Okay. Oh, I don't think so either.
No.
But it's a very sad time for all of us.
How many times, though, when you say not taking advantage, we apparently have people living there, for crying out loud. If that's not taking advantage, I don't know what is.
I'm not sure if he put someone in there to do security or whatever, because I know that he got broken into a few times. But whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. The place needs to be open. We were clear. Excuse me. We were clear at the commission meeting.
Yes.
Perfectly clear that we wanted to see a CFO by July 1st.
And they failed. Again. So, stop work order, and no one better be living there.
Tomorrow I'll go out personally with my code enforcement. And issue the stop work order, and if they don't remove the trailers, I'll have them removed. I don't care about waiting for parts and to push them closed.
Oh, that you got that one too.
Yeah, the transponder.
The transponder.
The transponders are the supply chain. Yeah.
So I don't care. Push it closed.
Oh, you mean the piece for the trailer?
Yeah. Jimmy, just come to the mic.
Yeah, they said it's not road legal right now, and they need a few more days to get the part to fix the trailer to move.
I know they've told a lot of
What about
people
the
a lot
other
of
trailers
things.
though? There's another trailer there. Is that trailer not road legal either? I mean,
I believe it's the bigger one that Denny's living out of is the one that has the issue.
So the other one doesn't have an issue.
The other one should be able to be moved, correct?
But it doesn't matter. No one should be living there. Yep. So John, I need you to take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah. What I'll do then, if they're in that bad a shape, I'll put them out on the road.
Okay.
Off our property.
Yep.
All right.
Works. Mr. Taggart, anything you wanted to add? I mean, I know you were involved extensively in this. Good?
All right.
Smart. He doesn't want to be sued.
No. And Dan finally listened to me and took off. He was smart.
Okay. All right. Well, I really do want to thank all the departments that were involved.
Yeah.
This has been a real challenge, one that I hope that we could have conquered. I know that we could have conquered it if we had able and willing partners on the other side. And so, to Mr. Talbert's point, this is no fault of the towns whatsoever, and I really want to make sure the residents understand that. I don't know about it's just Luciano. We talk about this all the time, but it's kind of like our kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times? How many chances? And it gets to the point, you gotta.
Enough is enough with excuses.
Time out.
Exactly. So, all right, we'll be in touch tomorrow. And Jim, you're gonna work with the commission on this RFP. Loop Adam in, but let's get it cranking so we can figure out a path forward here. Okay. Thank you all for your
really
efforts.
sorry.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. Resolutions. Authorize the assessor to attend the 2022 Cornell Seminar on Appraising to be held in all places at Cornell University. Authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with the law firm of Maker Fragali, thank you, and D. Costanzo, LLP, to provide legal services for tax certiorari litigation. From the Building Maintenance and Refuse and Recycling Department, to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with Michael Riley, Jr., P.E., to provide specs for heat pump systems for the town hall. Authorize the bid extension for the annual electrical work on town buildings to Hanover Electric. We're going to reject and rebid, as we discussed, for the replacement of the air conditioning system for the theater at the Albert A. Cappellini Community and Cultural Center. We're also going to reject and rebid, this is what we actually discussed, the residential garbage and recyclable material collection and disposal. From the Comptroller's Office, we're going to authorize the Comptroller to process a budget transfer to fund a workers' compensation scheduled loss of use payment through a notice of decision. We'll be transferring $77,310 from the general fund to the workers' comp indemnity payments. From the engineering department, we're going to authorize the release of a performance bond for stormwater permit for work done at 2373 Evergreen Street. Also will authorize the release of a landscape performance bond to America Custom Builders for work done at 2678 Gregory Street. Authorize the release of erosion control bond for stormwater permit to Island Pump and Tank Corp for work done at 930 East Main. We're going to authorize the town clerk to advertise a bid for street and traffic signs for the highway department. We're going to authorize the town clerk to advertise a bid for access control doors at the Cappellini Community Cultural Center. Excited about that.
Yep.
As well as, where's Dan
Wait.
Ciarcia?
He's back there.
You want me to hold this one? You sure, Dan?
We ready, Dan? All right.
After much labor of love, authorize the town clerk to advertise for bid. Why don't you read this one? I know this one's been. This is what you've been waiting for. It's like Christmas
Okay.
for you.
It's that piece of
Come on, you do it.
bone stuck in your tooth. And you're
Authorize town clerk to advertise the bid for town hall front entry renovation.
All right.
So
Yay.
moved.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
Motions carry. And with that, we also will accept monthly reports from the Finance Department, Receiver of Taxes, and the Town Clerk. Can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
We have a second. All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And last but not least,
Motion to adjourn.
good night,
Second.
Riley.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, Yorktown.
Yorktown.
Thank you.
Night, y'all.
Madonna, start.